able to step in. Then I've got the book with what's going on.
Kind of imagine Tobey kind of goes and makes connection with his tribe, letting them know where he was, what's going on.
Well, so from what and kind of my thought was that given I think you and I touched base that like while the tribes are very connected, they aren't physically connected.
Right.
So there's probably some amount of like I doubt there's like a post office, but I'm sure there is some sort of communications network that you could sort of put a message into that hey, you're back.
Sure.
And like while you're unfamiliar with this specific tribe, you do have the ability to like it's like like I haven't been to Boise before, but if I went to Boise, like I have a general idea of how to find a downtown where government buildings are.
Sure.
I'm not sure why I went to Boise for an example, but we're there. All right. Those of you who want Sirenscape, is it up or is there anyone I'm waiting on before I start the music?
I'm on.
Tis up.
All right.
Oh, Jim, I'm
Yep.
running. I ran. My punk band doing the same thing y'all did last week for the first time.
Yeah.
It was hysterical. It's fun to see y'all are very different groups.
Yeah,
Like, they
very.
like, went through everything like much faster, which I think is because we all know each other because we're a band.
Yeah.
So it's just like all of Rory's friends from different places he wants to keep in touch with.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was pretty goofy. I made their characters with them like separately, because they were all new to Pathfinder Second Edition. So I like called, and the entire party is rogues because I didn't like tell them what anyone else was doing.
Hey, that's awesome.
They're really well balanced. They don't have a healer, which is kind of killing them, but like they're fantastic.
Yeah, but as soon as someone
Gotta
takes
get
the
that battle medicine
you're
feat.
fine.
Yeah, battle medicine, man. Yeah, that's where it's at. That's the one they need. Battle medicine.
Unsurprisingly, none of them sank a lot of points into wisdom. Actually, there's a monk, but they didn't use wisdom either. Yeah.
It sounds like the Ninja Turtles, man. Just rogues and monks.
New players often do.
Yeah, but even then, there's the retraining downtime.
Yeah.
It feels hard. Or they'll just keep dying and making more rogues, which I feel fine about too.
I hide behind the pile of
If
rogues.
they die at a high enough level, they can do like a. They can do a rogue with a dedication into cleric or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Or the battle medic. There's like an archetype if you want to be a healer, but not.
Yeah. But not a caster. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
There's a whole dedication for it.
All right, here we go.
There's my new favorite skill feat is the dangerous surgery where you do a D8 slashing damage, and then it like I don't know. I mean, Gnome's not gonna take it because that's not his thing.
I'm looking this up.
Karen doesn't heal.
Yeah, it's like risky surgery or dangerous risky. Yeah, risky surgery.
Risky. Okay.
Risky surgery. Yeah, it's like the greatest skill feat, I think. Tell me that's not badass.
Alright, so for those of you who are listening in, risky surgery, general skill feat. 1. Prerequisite only trained in medicine. Your surgery can bring a patient back from the brink of death but might push them over the edge. Whenever you treat wounds, you can choose to deal 1d8 slashing damage to your patient just before applying the effects of treat wounds. If you do, you gain a +2 circumstance bonus to your medicine check to treat wounds. And if you roll a success, you instead get a critical success.
Wow.
That's awesome.
If Tam took that, just imagine.
Honestly, I think that's something Felix in our other game needs to take.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh, it's from the APG. That's probably why it wasn't up here when we started that. But that's an amazing skill.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's awesome.
I haven't heard of that one yet.
That's the best thing ever. And the nice thing is, it's still just a.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Oh yeah, no worries. Can you take familiar abilities with each day? Can you like pick the same one a couple times?
Let's check. because I don't know. That's a good question.
I know in 1E, when you can take feats multiple times, it usually explicitly says this feat may be taken multiple times. But I don't actually know about familiar
Each
feats.
day,
Gotcha.
Here are full rules on familiars. Oh. Do you have one in C? Which one are you looking at, Rory?
Tough from the Advanced Player's Guide.
Alright. Hey. Oh! Cake, I thought you said pink. I was like, thanks, chain? Your choice. Whatever the thing you usually get. And that's... Oh. Oh, yeah, I want a torta, please. Yes, please.
That sounds delicious.
So, Rory, I think what I've seen is the standard in second edition is that if something can be taken multiple times, it denotes as such in the description.
Damn, okay, cool. Never mind.
Alright,
Otherwise, my cat could have 75 hit points.
I think that's probably why that's the case.
Probably why, yeah.
All
That would be more than Karen.
Let's get... So let me reshare this with everyone. Here is Akravel. I don't suspect you don't need to be on here. I just wanted to share the map so everyone could see it.
Why is the map in the monitor that I have Fantasy Grounds on?
No, the map looks weird.
Because it loves you.
It looks weird for me too.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Weird way.
Oh, I think you might need to drag it down, because like it's in
There you
a
go.
separate window.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Around.
Just need to drag it around and zoom in.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a thing. Alright, so, after Gnome has asked to, and I quote, take me to your leader,
Said I want to meet your chief.
that's right, and, your translator, who, the woman with the woman with the wooden arm, Nictaya, says that she will take you to the twin leopards, who at this point wanted to have an audience with you. So that's where we're going to kind of join our party. If you imagine this is like an episode, we're just going to kind of do a cold open after the previously on flashback. And all of you are walking along these treetop pavilions and walkways hundreds of feet above the ground. Now, for basically everyone that isn't Tope, this isn't a scary experience intrinsically. It may be based on your characters, the way you play your character, but it is a truly unique and odd experience to be walking on these platforms. They sort of move and sway, not under your weight, but have any of you ever heard people who work on like wind turbines talk about how when you get up that high, it doesn't look like they're moving, but they're totally moving?
Yeah. They sway a lot.
That's kind of what we're talking about. Like, you're up here high enough where there is just sort of some sway and move to these platforms. And so let me check back in on this. Let's talk for just a second about exploration modes.
Ah, yes.
So I'm going to default Tam into investigation.
That sounds about right.
Broadly, and I've been doing some decent work on this now that I've been playing some other campaigns that have more social things. So we've been talking a lot about really combat specific things, but there's all kinds of other skill checks that you can be perpetually running, including things like watching for people lying, or generally making your attitude trying to be so that like as people see you, you're putting off the right vibe to kind of make them a little friendlier to you. Or we had a great example last time. We had I think it was Tam and Felix just like nerding out over the architecture.
Mm-hmm.
I know Felix was. So broadly, let's kind of go through our group real quick. Let's go left to right on my Discord. So we'll start with Lumbee.
Yep. Okay.
Sorry, Eli, who's
Yeah.
Aaron.
Lumbie's my Discord name.
Aaron kind of up to this point. Now that you're following Nictaya through.
Yeah, up in the treetops, Karen is looking around, taking in the culture. Specifically, like I said last time, she's really trying her best to learn as much of the language as she possibly can while she's here. So anything like signs that are in the Mwangi language, if she can overhear little bits of conversations here and there, she's really trying to pick that up as much as possible. But I would say if I have to put a mechanic to it, I'd say she's using society.
Okay. Look, you don't need. Here's what I say. You don't need to put a mechanic to it.
Ah.
Now that you're all more familiar with it and you kind of generally know how the rules might benefit you,
Mhm.
I will kind of move that on the back end to find where it will interface best with what's popping up in the story.
Cool.
I want the story to have stuff pop up. So
Yep.
you being broad, not being broad, but you leaving the mechanics to me is going to help with that. So now I'll
And-
pop over Rory.
Oh, wait, one last
what's
thing.
Gnome kind of keeping an eye out for?
One other quick mention. As I said last time, Tam noticed that this is the first time since Charlie's funeral that you've seen Karen not holding her weapon. Now I'm good.
All right. No. Rory? What's kind of Gnome generally up to as you're being brought to the twin
I
leopards?
think. So is this Jazzy? Have we already met these people, or is this?
No. What you'll be able to pick up through a little bit is that these are the chiefs of the tribe. These are the
Okay, cool.
rulers of the tribe here.
Gotcha. I would probably be talking to the chick with the staff we were with, and like generally like paying attention to like the way people interact here, and like kind of
Okay.
that, because like doesn't not interested in tribe. He has a little more respect for them because they're like tribal, and he's from an orc tribe most recently. But he doesn't want like he doesn't really like people, but he doesn't want like cultural rift to get in the way of getting the job done. So he's just trying to like take note of how people interact, and I'd be talking to the linguist lady.
Okay. Tope, as you're kind of meeting back up with the group after putting your letter in to be taken by whatever form of local animal messenger is most appropriate. You know, like they've got a couple of birds of paradise available. Monkeys are the overnight. They cost a little bit more. Require signature on delivery. But as you kind of meet back up with the group, you sort of pick up on what's been going on and realize that you're being brought to the leaders of this group. But what's kind of your demeanor? What's Tope up to in this walk?
I mean, I think he's pretty relaxed, but he's also probably taking note of the way, like, as we're moving toward this leadership, sort of the way people are reacting. He's gonna be like keeping an eye out for like cultural references as to like how the people address their leaders, that sort of thing, so that he can make a show of doing so when they get there.
All right. And then Ike, what's Felix doing?
Felix is broadly keeping an eye on how people are regarding the party, how people are paying attention to them. You know, looking for raised eyebrows, looking for askant glances, that kind of thing.
All right. So sometimes when things are kind of a newer thing, I'll give a little extra description. So in my mind, that's totally what I would file away as like almost a sense motive, kind of getting a read on people. So let me go through and make some background rolls for you all, because I can do that off at the party. Now that I figured out how to do that better, real easy.
What you drinking tonight, Rory?
So as you're all heading through there, a couple of things are going to stand out. So, Tope, what you're picking up relatively easily is that these are all norms much accustomed to your tribe, and you're seeing a lot of similarities in the way they act. So you know that you yourself might be treated to a higher standard. You know that in general, the Akuje elves are, as long as the visitors do not sort of mistreat nature or the other natural resources, living or otherwise, of the land, the Akuje make a very, very strong point to show kindness to visitors and really embrace the understanding that visitors will not have the same cultural knowledge of the Akuje culture that most likely the Akuje will have of other cultures, just because they've been around longer and make a point to study the outside cultures a little. Do something that you're kind of, you know to be the case, and sort of you're seeing as well, is that in particular with your party's composition, half orcs are treated, and you sort of picked this up only through the inverse when you were up in northern Avestan, that half orcs are still treated pretty crap up in most of Avestan. But in the Mwangi extent, especially by the Akuje have no issue with half orcs, no cultural history with half orcs the way that Avestan does with their employ under the armies of the Whispering Tyrant. But on top of that, orcs as cultural enemies to demons and devils is something that the Akuje have a deep respect for as sort of natural warriors. And they sort of almost overcorrect in attempting to be kind to half-orcs. It is sort of like, we know you have such a hard time up north, and we're nothing like that. Please see we're nothing like that.
Sure. White guilt.
White guilt. Totally.
Yeah, but like, yeah,
Elf guilt.
Not full on,
Elf guilt.
it's not full on get out, like, look, I would have,
if I could vote for Obama 3 times.
It's like, there's no weird twist coming up, and they don't have any guilt about it. They just have this whole, like, hey, we know it's rough for you, but, like, we know that there's probably some, you know, like, some of the elven populations in the north probably have some weirdness about that. We just want you to know that, like, dude, we see, like, you have a lot of shared commonality like that.
They're woke.
Sure.
So one of the things in particular that probably would come to mind for you, and Gnome, this is something that, in kind of watching observations and kind of looking back over what you've seen before, Tope, if you and Gnome have sort of like even any small level of conversation, which I'm going to narratively because you two are sort of looking at similar things, would come up, is that it's a pretty common tradition and an honor, a pretty normal thing. Gift giving is a big part of Akuje culture, and not just like, hey, it's Tuesday and we met on a Tuesday, sort of gift giving, but as a sort of way to show honor or respect. Gift giving is a big part that way, and you're sort of seeing this in exchange between like someone meeting a merchant, sitting down, who maybe looks like a big deal, or like as someone is coming up to pick up looks like some sort of supplies, or sort of like making inroads for someone to get supplies for tonight's big citywide feast. You're seeing them like present a gift before they begin business and sort of things like that. But these are clearly like, it's not just like they do that at the drop of a hat, but before large transactions you're seeing that. Tope, some context that you can offer into this is that you know that because of the way Akuje appreciate cultural differences with visitors, it may be that the Akuje offer gifts at times to the party, but they do not expect to receive something because they know that the players wouldn't intrinsically know of that tradition.
Okay.
So it's not they're not expecting a gift just because they appreciate that you are learning their culture. However, it is customary upon important greetings to give a gift denoting honor and respect.
Okay.
Let's see, Karen, you're kind of working the language. A lot of the ways, and so like you don't speak much, but what you are noticing is that as you're sort of talking with
And I'd be trying to talk with like Tope
Nictaya.
and what was the translator's name?
Nictaya.
Nictaya.
Yeah.
I'd be talking to Nictaya
So
and Tope a lot.
And who?
And Tope.
Yeah. So in talking with kind of one of the things you do notice is that sort of they definitely have like they're and her as a translator absolutely accentless essentially, and the half elf. So what you notice is less sort of pronunciation things, that she's not really speaking Akuje to you. What you are noticing is more that the way she's speaking about things, it seems to be that there's some things she's sort of not offering up as easily. And so some of those things that she's sort of, it's not that she's dancing around them, it's just often a reference to anytime that you talking about how you got here and Dahak or the darkness or the thing you encountered in the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of references to the sort of like, hey, don't worry about that right now. I'll talk to you about that tonight.
Okay.
Or things like, let me find. There's a whole little thing here. Yeah. But she's really avoiding diving into a lot of depth outside of letting you kind of know that the feast is going on and that people are kind of keeping an eye on you, because she really wants to keep most of the heavy business about the Cinder Claws, and she's pretty open about this is pushed. And from your check, I think that you would have picked up on this, that really she wants to, as a sort of custom, that there's this really important process of officially welcoming and greeting you, and it would be sort of a disservice to their customs to really dive into the business without sort of showing you hospitality first.
That makes sense.
And so that sort of reinforces a little bit of the conversations you're picking up on between Gnome and Tope, that there is a lot of tradition and honor in their culture, and especially ones towards making sure that guests are shown the highest quality of what their culture has to offer.
All right.
So this is going on. Felix, you're keeping your eyes out. You're checking out what's going on around you. And you're not picking up a whole lot else from Taya. A lot of that, you suspect, has to do with that she's so used to being a translator and a greeter that she's quite good at keeping herself composed no matter what. You pick up a couple of small slips, not enough to tell much, but you do get that she, you do kind of get a feel that, and you kind of notice her clamping down, and there's times when it seems like she seems hopeful. You're picking up is that she seems hopeful that your group will be welcomed well by the society and could be ones that she's allowed to like. But you're also picking up once again, and especially with the conversations going on around you, that she sort of has this obligation to note that while it's important to treat visitors with a lot of respect, it's not intrinsic to trust visitors right away. And you're picking up on some of that, where she kind of is sort of displaying these signals that you would interpret as her wanting to like you, but knowing that if she makes too many outward gestures to be too friendly or happy about you right away without you proving yourself, it'd be seen as a little naive on her part. And so you're sort of also seeing not that really wanting to like you, but you're picking up on from people around you how much others are watching you, and you're remembering the way that the two older elves waited until you danced against the younger elves first, but then sort of coming in and realizing now how much of the way that you did, and maybe even more so, we talked about now how you may have lost, but you really won with some of those great checks before you lost out on points.
Right.
How important it was to them how well you took a loss and how kind you were or how you handled that. So this is a lot of what you're picking up on. As this is kind of continuing, you guys are walking, and it's been maybe 15-20 minutes as you're walking. So the afternoon is going on, and you're seeing all around you the signs of the feast preparation continuing. And as you walk, you can't just help but realize how big some of these, how big the city is if you can walk for this long. And as you're taking in all the sights, while to you so many of them are new, they're all mostly consistent with each other. But there is one site that it stands out immediately to Karen. Tam would pick this up, and Tope, you would also really notice this as you're walking across, laying on one of the higher branches, maybe 15, 20 feet above the platform you're on, maybe 40 feet ahead of you, you see a slightly pudgy lioness just on a branch looking down over you. And Tope, you've got a really strong nature, so I'm going to say that a just little passive thing for you is that in looking at this, you realize that lions aren't normally jungle animals; they're like savanna animals. And not only are lions, not only are they more plains dwellers, but lions are not known for being tree cats in the slightest. Yet here is this slightly pudgy lioness just fucking chilling. And it is intently watching you. It's got that sort of lazy lay with that flick of the tail that any cat owner knows is like, oh shit, they watching.
So I think Tope would bow to it as we're kind of walking by, kind of making eye contact, and
if Karen sees him,
gives a nice curtly bow.
If Karen sees Tope do that, she would immediately follow suit.
And Nictaya kind of chuckles for a second. You're bowing to Harriet, then?
Honor to you, Harriet.
Oh, yeah. Harriet looked like she deserved a bow.
And Felix, as you're kind of keeping your eyes out for this, you pick up right away that while Nictaya sort of slightly pudgy lioness in a tree branch.
I found it.
Yeah. So Felix, you pick up in particular though that while she sort of covered it with this social triviality, there's an intentness in Nictaya's eyes that's clearly watching the way the group not only sort of observes Harriet, but seeing how potentially Harriet responds to the group. It's very much the impression. You ever get that whole where like people kind of take a lot of cues from their pets about like how to treat a new person coming over?
Oh yeah.
And this is Felix. You pick this up, but this is something you kind of silently notice, and you can, yeah.
I can be silent about.
I mean, you have it. Whether or not you choose to pass that along, up to you. But this is a great example in my mind of where exploration modes in social encounters are so interesting, because that's something that only someone who has taken the time to be sort of looking for reactions would even have a chance to roll at, much less learn.
Right.
And then how they do or don't share that is a different thing. Honestly, encounter modes are become my favorite thing during social encounters, because the idea like someone isn't both lying and focusing really intently on someone else's reaction. Having multiple people, some person to be spinning a tail while someone else watches to see if that might provoke an interesting response. I think it's such a fascinating dynamic for role playing.
Yeah, it's helpful.
So yeah, kind of bow. Nictaya makes a bit of a joke about it. Felix, you kind of read a little bit between the lines there.
Karen leans over to Tope and whispers, I know we were sent to meet the twin leopards, but that's not a leopard, right? I'm not good with cats.
I don't think so, no.
Oh, alright, I just wanted to make sure.
Like, off the bat, you know exactly what kind of creature this
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
That seems like a lion to me.
I think that would be correct, yeah. Best I can offer is to show it some respect around them.
Sorry, I'm doing some quick. For absolutely no reason at all.
Roll initiative. Look at that lion.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Now you fucked up. Now you have fucked up. You have fucked up now.
Yeah, I'm kind of frozen. I'm not sure how to react.
I'm opening up Tam because I just want to make sure if Tam has any relevant skills. No. Okay. None of you are experts in nature.
Nope.
So yeah, the lion just kind of switches the tail back and forth, and back and forth. But that's it. And they just seem to be watching you, and Natalia sort of gives you a half-second beat after you bow, and shall we keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
you
right.
know,
Karen will definitely try to
More
not.
comfortable with Marco.
Little pet.
Karen would definitely not make eye contact with it.
Fierce gaze!
Yeah. Trying to remain as calm as she can in these trees.
I think my familiar is upset at the presence of a larger cat with hair.
Oh yeah, your cat's hairless.
your cat's like it's trying to get its hair to stand up a little bit. But
It just looks like it has
To
goosebumps.
be done.
Just rolly
So-
goosebumps. What's your cat's name?
My cat's name?
Yeah. You're familiar.
Oh shit, I don't think I ever picked one.
Nice.
I was
Cat.
at some point.
Mao.
So eventually you find yourself before,
Chomsky. Your gnome. It has to be Chomsky.
I was gonna say that, but then that seemed too obvious.
It is too obvious, but that's what makes it great.
I think it'll be Michelle, and then it'll be like the Chomsky Foucault of it.
Plus, then you have a business consigliere, Michel.
Michelle.
So you eventually find yourself at a larger hut. Well, it's clearly important. It's not ostentatious, but it doesn't take much of you for any of you to sort of put together. This is the home of the twin leopards. And so,
Oh shit.
as you walk in, you see the room that looks less like a throne room and more like a receiving room. There's comfortable seating. There's a soft floor of lush grasses woven and planted throughout it, so that it seems to almost live and grow. It's almost sort of a garden inside of it. As you walk in, you see two elves seated at the head of the room. In unison, as you walk in, they open their mouths together and say, "We are Ose Panin and Ose Atsu of the Leopard Clan. Our mother is of the Heart Clan." And you can see that Ose Panin, who has the earrings in the photo, you can see is wearing this it's a gorgeous patterned green dress, copper jewelry studded with uncut gems. Ose Atsu is wearing a dark blue tunic covered with amulets wrapped in copper and green cloth. But both of these apparent twins wear black sandals decorated with copper amulets. Their hair is arranged in thick locks and braids that rest and sit on their shoulders. Each of them sort of sit there, and Nyctia sort of, under her breath, "They're waiting for you to introduce yourself."
So they like move forward and bow, and he'll say, "Blessings of Ural upon you. Ural is the elven goddess of crafting, and especially of jewelry
Okay,
and crystals. He's noticing a lot of that on them.
okay.
And then he'll just kind of like take a seat opposite them.
Did
So,
you say that? Oh, sorry.
go for it.
Oh, did you say that that gnome knew the thing about the gifts
Yeah.
Or was that just Tope?
You were sort of you were really observant and noticed this, and you kind of checked in with Tope, and he was like, "Yeah, that's pretty similar with my tribe's culture." So that seems like that'd be really congruent with that here.
So Gnome would say like, I'm Gnome from the whatever orc tribe he was most recently with.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the name. In Orcish, and then he would switch to Elven and like walk forward and say, this is a gift from the north. He'd give them, I'm gonna give him the Wand of Web.
Okay.
Oh.
Baller.
And both of the elves just sort of stop, and they're a little bit, and they respond. Osei Panin responds in Elvish. This is an old tongue, I will admit, a bit rusty. However, you've taken such kindness to honor our traditions. You, as a visitor, have no need to follow these, but thank you very, very much. Please, you and your friends, and they're saying this all in Elven, please join us as honored guests, that we might speak with you and learn more of you and your families.
Karen will step.
Wait, so did they not accept it?
No, they take it. It means that, like, graciously, they're even acknowledging, like, this is not something we expected at all, and it is a great kindness of you to show us this, and to show us this kindness in our cultural norms.
Karen will.
A Staff of Fire and a Demon Mask, which both seem like things they're not into.
Yeah, probably not.
Cash is kind of a tacky gift. So.
Cash is tacky. Yeah, that was a good call. Karen will step forward, put her fist to her shoulder, and say, "I'm Karen of the Obari. Honor to your house and your people." And then she will attempt her best to say, like, "I give you honor" in their tongue, or some kind of an honorific, anything she tried to pick up. Can I roll, like,
So,
society or something on that?
don't roll yet. Don't
Okay.
roll yet. I think I know what I'd like to do. I think
Okay.
I'm going to do essentially a combined skill check. I think
Cool.
Gnome is going to take lead on it as diplomacy. Eli, you will be able to assist with society.
Okay. Is this
Uh,
public or private?
No, I'll let you use diplomacy or society because you sort of made inroads with them through a societal, through a cultural norm. And
I
not
have
through-
courtly graces, which gives me bonuses to society
Mm.
checks against noble, or not against, because I'm not trying to kill them, but I can use society to like make an impression and deception and like.
This is exactly.
Yeah, this is
that.
exactly
So-
when you use that feat, man.
So we'll come to it in a second, but I want to see what everyone else does. So Eli will
Okay.
be allowed to make
I'll be
a
right back,
skill check
actually.
for society. Cool. And then Felix, what do you do?
You're muted.
Yeah, muted.
Yeah, I'm muted because I don't have my headphones due to various reasons for this week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just my phone picking up everything in the room.
Oh,
if I'm
gotcha.
Unmuted. Yeah. Anyway, what's up? Sorry.
You were beating the.
I talked myself to the point where I forgot what prompt I was actually responding to.
How do you introduce yourself to the Twin Leopards?
Of course, I introduce myself as Felix Sidonius, Knight of the Hell Dragon.
Yes, yes,
With
yes.
flourishing bow.
And so it's at mention of this that you notice, like, because you have been focusing on this, you notice that there's a bit of a weird reaction to hell and dragons. It's sort of they both seem a bit taken aback at the mention of dragons and the Knight of a Dragon especially. All right, and so then I think
I'm gonna say Felix reacts to that, and he kind of tries to play it off with a chuckle and an explanatory. It's a joke among some friends of mine. Cozy.
sort of are left. And then I think Tam steps up. I'm Tam Sexton of the Church of Faradma, and I appreciate you letting us stay here. Anything that we, or I, anything that I, and I'm sure my friends as well, would do that we could help here. Thank you.
That was very Tam.
Yes, I've been working on my Tam. Which is to say, I've watched any movie with Tom Holland in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And so this, I think, what I'd like to do is I'd like to have basically a compulsory check. So, no, you are going to make an impression. Because of your courtly graces, you can make an impression with society. So you will roll yours last. Tope, you can choose to participate or not because of sort of your level. It's your choice. Isaac, you have to participate with a -1
Oh no.
on diplomacy because of your reference to a dragon.
Oh no.
So basically, you're just really hoping that your involvement isn't enough so that you mess it up by mentioning a dragon. Your check is mostly trying to avoid failing.
Yeah.
I actually think Tope would not participate. I think he kind of wants, in a way, he wants to like let the group speak for itself, knowing that he can kind of get by on his own, but just kind of like see what their reaction is.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and the way you played that's kind of why I said like you have an option. Everyone else sort of, because they interacted that much, has a chance of fucking it up. You did not interact to a level of potentially fucking it up. So let's start with Felix. Felix, give me a. Rory, I do not. Oh, you were from the area to Holds of Belkson.
Holds of Belkson?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll write that down so I don't have to ask in the future. Cool.
It's not a specific tribe, it's an area. There's lots of tribes in there, but that's a known area.
It's just south of the realm of the Mammoth Lords, southeast.
And it's right around the area where a lot of the GCP stuff takes place.
Awesome.
Just for some context, that's a big orc area. So, Felix, give me a diplomacy with a -1 on it.
Throw that shit.
Secret or public? Secret or public?
Public. Yeah. I feel like impressions is one of those things where you can kind of know how poorly you did. Alright. So you did not assist, but more importantly, you did not critically fail. You
Hooray.
managed to play off your whole dragon comment with enough grace as to let it slide by.
Hooray.
Alright, now I'll pop over to Karen. Karen, can you, for me, make a... So your attempt here is specifically a society check because you were attempting to do something in their language.
Yep. So, any pluses,
So
minuses?
please- Nope, flat check for you.
Here we go. Not bad. I'll take
Alright.
it.
Not an assist, but not a critical fail.
Yeah, I'll take 17.
Alright, Rory, make an impression with society.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, we both rolled 7s.
Okay, hold up.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
That was pretty good.
Oh yeah, looks like I saw food in my mouth. Oh my god, that's horses. I love tortas.
Yes.
Do I get a bonus for giving them my best magic item?
Oh yeah. So all in all, as you all sort of take your seats, you can all see that their body language relaxes quite a bit. One of them says something in Milwaukee, and someone brings out these sort of hot cups of tea, and they're all brought to you as you sit down in the sort of like leafy area what's been indicated, and they begin talking with you. Osei Atsu says, "Tell us, where did you come from?"
Well, we came to your lands originally through an elf gate that we found underneath of our fortress back home. Out of character, I don't remember what continent we're from. Avestan?
Mm-hmm.
Avestan? Yeah. We originally come from Avestan, but underneath our keep, we found an old abandoned elf gate. We managed to fix it, and it brought us here. It's actually what we think brought our friend Tope to us in the first place. And Karen will kind of nod at Tope and see if, like, in sort of a now you take over kind of capacity. That's the sort of look she's giving Tope with that.
In Avestan, you were most likely from the country Iskar.
Iskar. I myself am from...
You're pretty close between Cheliax and Iskar.
Okay. Yeah. Originally, I myself am from the islands of the Obari, but we came to here from Avestan.
I think he would be looking, Tope would be looking for a sign of them, like, sharing a glance of, like, what the fuck, they came through an elf gate?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, sort of like sharing a glance like that. And he would kind of break in a Kuje and say something along the lines of, this gate was commandeered by the Cinder Claws. This group helped me to defeat them and repair the gate to see how far they've come, sort of thing.
And sure enough, that mention of the gate, there is a look between both of them. And since me roll some checks here, since you guys are doing actually a genuinely really awesome jobs of keeping me updated on your exploration notes. So Tope, not missing a beat at all, and Felix, you pick up on this too at the mention of Elfgate. There's a look between them that I'll say you two recognize as sort of a little, not fear, but definitely of significance. But your guess, based on how they reacted, is that they were probably briefed already, potentially by Jassy, who you met when you first came out of the gate, about what had happened. So it isn't surprising, but it is this note to them of like, okay, this is something serious. When you mentioned the Cinder Claws in a little more depth, same sort of thing with a larger response that you would pick up on, Tope. This is significant. This matters a lot to them. This is not a surprise to them, which it maybe should have been. So they were probably briefed.
Okay.
Yes, they respond so they can respond in common in Ragamull, sort of in an effort to keep everyone in. They sort of nod to you, acknowledging your response in Akuje, and then respond fully in the common tongue. We appreciate what you did to the enemies of the Akuje. Now, you, brave warrior, you say you have a fortress?
Oh, yeah.
Are you lords?
Well, we own it, yeah. It was an abandoned fortress, and there was this group of goblins that lived inside of it, and they were asking for help to clean out the bottom, and it turns out it was a lot bigger than we originally thought. It used to be an old Hill Knight citadel, but they're long gone. No worries about them. But yeah, we happened to find the deed secreted away down at the bottom. So yeah, we own it now. We're trying to refurbish, but the Elf Gate was originally what was down there. That's what led us to you in the first place. We were chasing these cultists who, I think they were the first ones to find it. These people follow Dahak, the false worm.
Interesting. You took the goblins home from them?
No. They live up above. They have a large section of the citadel to themselves. We got rid of the monsters that had moved in.
This one has, excuse me, sorry, had a goblin daughter.
That too. I had adopted her when she was a little baby. Her village got destroyed by a sea dragon. I've I've never had good luck with dragons myself. My village, her village, and now these cultists of Dahak. It seems my life is intrinsically tied to dragons. I hate them. And at that, Karen her eyes kind of glaze over as she stares at the table. And if you happen to notice her hands, her knuckles are turning white. But at that, she goes silent.
Otse Atsu, the one dressed in the blue tunic, sort of looks at you, Karen. You must be a mighty warrior to have conquered a whole fortress.
I'd be nothing without them. Nothing without Charlie. And when she says at them, she's like not motioning to everyone around her.
Osei Panin sort of nods. We are sorry to hear that you have lost family. Many of our warriors here have as well. It is a great burden.
But one I wear proudly. And then she kind of thumbs the two tusk earrings and the fang necklace that she wears.
Panin sort of looks over to Gnome, Felix, Tam. What of you? Who are you so motivated to clear fortresses? Do you not have loved ones at home that worry about you?
In the absence of others and the time it takes my thumbs to move, Felix will speak up and he'll kind of lick his lips and smile winsomely and say, yeah, no, I've absolutely got a family. I've got a mother, I've got a father, I've got a couple of brothers and a little sister even. I figure, what's the best thing I can do but show them a castle that I own and say, hey, come live in my castle, right?
I think Gnome would be waiting to go last because he joined the group most recently. He doesn't want to speak for the group as much.
Cam talks ad nauseum for about 5 minutes about realized he's talked too much.
Just Ted talking about... He's Tam talking about Pharasma.
It's like camera panning back and forth as he continues to talk, 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, back and forth across the screen.
It's like SpongeBob. 8 hours later.
Have you ever heard of Tulip?
Oh my god, I miss Tulip so much.
I didn't even realize I was muted at that time. No, what it is the camera pans to the rest of us talking and him not realizing that he's not being listened to.
It's good to know that if I miss a session, I'll just get bullied.
Oh yeah, 100%. But it switches the target switches week to week, so it's okay. Everyone is fair game.
Fair enough.
I think before it goes to Newman, Osei, gotta keep my name straight. Atsu sort of looks back to you, Felix, takes in sort of some of your countenance. How was it you made you helped your family before you owned a fortress? Are you a warrior as well?
Oh no, I stole and I cheated and I realized I needed to get something better for him because I couldn't do that forever.
Toby says,
He's really not a very good thief. He really did need to find another job. He's really just the worst at it.
Toby says
I am okay at thieving.
Toby says in Milwaukee, this one is nothing if not honest.
Osei Panin sort of smiles. Well, if you're not a good thief and you're not a warrior, what are you good at?
Oh, I'm a pretty good warrior. I've learned to be a pretty good warrior.
At Felix saying, I've learned to be a pretty good warrior, Karen sits up straight and with not like a scowl, but like as serious of a face as she can muster, she says, I would be dead 10 times over if it weren't for the martial skill of this man.
Felix nods gravely.
Ose Atsu in particular has sort of this knowingly grim smile, and she connects with Karen about that. There are many warriors for who I would say the same. Then they sort of both turn in unison. In that creepy way that only movies ever show twins doing, they both look at you, Gnome, and say, "So what of you?"
I've only recently joined this party. I began my life at a young age studying the arcane arts. The only way I could, I joined the Hell Knights. But eventually I had to leave and I found a new home with the Orcs and the Holds of Belkson. As important as the arcane I learned with the Hell Knights, I learned so far that one cannot be more righteous than they are mighty. And I've brought that lesson here to protect the last link I have to my fallen friends.
Well, thank you for sharing that. What, may we ask, are you, Karen, most proud of about you?
The fact I'm most proud of the life I've given, the lives I've raised, and the lives I've changed.
By the way, I think Tope is very interested in these answers too. He's like seriously paying attention to this.
It's relatively, like, you're both pretty new to this group still in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
The eyes sort of track down the line. Sir Felix, what of yourself do you claim to be most proud of?
Honestly, I'm not proud of all that much. I'm proud of the man that I'm not anymore. That's something.
It is. And Mr. Sexton, what are you most proud of? Well, I think probably my work ethic and like how devout I am and how many times people I've been able to help. But I probably shouldn't say how devout I am. I'm really proud of how many people I've helped, and I'm really good at bandaging things up, and I got kind of a part-time job at this mortuary back in Breach Hill, and that's pretty cool.
Very important interjection. Is Cam number one at the top of the humble list?
No,
He's the humble bundle.
only because he's too awkward to be number one at the top of the humble list. His apple pie is not the most crumblest. No. What about you? What of yourself do you take the most pride in?
My mastery of the dark arts and the rituals I use to protect those I'm loyal to.
And in this, they sort of, you've been leading and watching the whole time, but both of them, they track their sort of pupilless or entirely pupilled elven eyes over to you, Tope. You are not from our tribe, but you come here. You help bring these visitors to us. You who have fought the same enemies that we ancestrally have. Tope, you, we can see, are not just a warrior, but you're a reclaimer of our people. A hunter. But of you, in what do you take the most pride?
I think Tope kind of like leans his head down and thinks for a little while. He pulls back up and he says, "I take pride in putting away and jailing those who would bring back Dahak to this plane."
There's sort of a nod from
When
both
you
of
say
them.
that, Karen pounds her fist on the table in like an agreement.
There's no table, there's literally just a floor, but in my mind, you still just like hit the floor.
Oh,
and the
yeah.
grass kind of
If there's a
swells.
floor, Karen is sitting cross-legged on the floor, and she hits the floor as hard as she can, tries to make grass kind of pop up as you say that.
It does.
Yeah.
There's the sort of
Pound it in
echo
agreement.
Well, Osei, oh god, so many names, so many names. Osei Pen sort of looks. Tope, as I'm sure you know, and to you, our new visitors, much of the way that we respect visitors, but much of our judgment comes to the action of visitors. You've been brought here by one of our. There's a word for it. One of our Kaledi. So in that we take some trust, but we still wish to learn more of you before the feast tonight, when there is only so much time. If you'll forgive our bluntness, we're interested to learn more of you. But words are cheap and can only go so far. Karen. The flail that sits upon your back, this is coming now from Osei Atsu in the blue tunic.
Mhm.
Is this your weapon?
Yes, I wield it with terrifying accuracy.
Draw it.
She pulls it across and stands to her full height.
If you please step back. Just a touch.
She'll take a 5 back.
Now die!
Disintegrate. 9th level.
In my mind, I really kind of wanted this, in my mind, it's like sort of this tension picking up, because you're not sure why, as she sort of stands herself, and she reaches behind her robe, and she pulls out this sort of clay shape, which don't know if you realize is a target. And she just says, "Show me," and just chucks this clay target at you. Do me a favor and roll a strike.
A strike? Alright.
Yep. Attack as this clay target is
Fantastic.
just whirling at you.
Oh no! Nat 1.
Still 17.
It's still 17 though, but yeah, Nat 1.
So here's what I'll say: it's a nat 1. It's only a failure.
Only a fail, yeah, that's good. It's like Tam's medicine checks now. That could have been worse.
Drop a ball with that one. Fuck that.
I'll say mechanically at that was unexpected. After that miss, Karen rages. She says, "Try that again."
Give me a diplomacy check.
Diplomacy or intimidation? Because that was a command.
Sure. All right. If you want to try to intimidate,
I very much do because my is this private roll?
Yeah. You know what? Give me this as a dice tower roll.
Okay.
Osei Padden kind of raises an eyebrow, looks over at Osei Atsu. Osei Atsu shrugs. And, like, in the blink of an eye, boom, another one is just flying at you.
Okay. Roll again.
Yep.
Oh, that's better. Oh yeah. That's right. That just happened, y'all. That just happened, y'all. It did.
Bam! Like, shatters it, to which all 4 eyebrows, and I have to imagine, like, even the guards at the front doors kind of watching, just have this, like,
As soon as she shatters it, she does a spin in place, lands in a readied pose like this, and says, "Again!"
they smile. Osei Atsu throws at you something from behind her back, but this time it's not a target. It looks almost like a weapon. She's
Okay.
throwing it as if to have you catch it.
Catch it. Okay. Is that going to be an athletics check, or what is
Yeah,
that?
give me an athletics check.
Yeah. Drop one hand off the flail. Pop a 19.
No problem. Bam! You grab it out of there. It's a training blade,
Okay.
Sweet.
and she steps forward, and her hand one as well, and squares it up against you.
Karen.
One chance.
Huh?
She squares it up against you, the tip of the blade, sort of at your eye level,
Okay.
and just says, "One chance."
Karen.
Tope starts fucking ritual dancing.
Karen drops the flail and attacks. I don't have stats for that.
Use any weapon of your choice.
Okay, I will use this.
That's two,
So
two
she-
crits.
That's right.
She brings it up like as I mentioned, it's almost like a flurry. Like this isn't a combat. This isn't a single combat. I mentioned there's this like attack, lunge, move. She blocks part of it as you sort of bring the tip down, around, and under. So even as she comes in, sees your feint, counters it, you let the contact touch, bring her weight just off enough to come in and around inside of the loop, the opening she left from her parry,
I want
and
it
up
to.
against out of her arm.
I want it to do this. I want her to be on her back and the sword to stop here.
She's too fast for that. You don't knock her over. But you finish with her blade out and yours inside, right under the jaw.
I'm okay with that.
I begin and create undead ritual on the elf.
Karen says, Kyrgyz says, good job. And she pulls back and bows and stops raging.
And you see this smile just break across Osei Atsu's face. Holds out her hand. You have no need for a training weapon. Might I ask, would you return it?
Oh, yeah, I would. She would absolutely. Karen hands it back. Hefts up the flail and puts it on her back. This is a little more my size anyway. Thanks for the workout, though. Appreciate it,
She's
love.
smiling. Thank you.
That was fantastic.
Osei Pannon looks out over the rest of you. Is there anything that you might show us of your skills and prowess? Be it in combat, perhaps the arcane arts, or... And they looked at Tam. Tam. Show us your work, if you will. And so Tam looks over, and I assume that there's still, like, no matter how well someone's bandaged, I assume that Felix probably still has some slightly open wound after how fucked up he was.
Probably.
Likely.
And so I think Tam's gonna walk over and sort of demonstrate, like, and sort of set, and sort of talk. And it's Tam about it. And be like, all right, so what I was going for here was more of a Chelish rap. And while I really have a disdain for a lot of the style here, I think they've really improved on the Osiriani basics, sort of by way of the Absalom School of Medicine here. Now, Pharasma teaches, as he kind of goes through the whole shtick on it. And like no problem at all. Just dresses it up, and it's really well done. Really gorgeous. Osei Pannon sort of smiles, looks at the rest, and it includes Tope in this sort of searching gaze. What can the rest of you show us?
So, like, can we don't have to try to kill them? We can do, like, a skill?
Yeah. But
Or do they want to, like, see me cast a spell? Like, what's poppin'?
anything you choose. They seem like Tam literally just dressed a wound with a medicine check. You can do almost any kind of skill.
Maybe
any kind of roll
don't
you
try to
want.
kill them.
Okay, can I, like, show them the first step of a ritual? Or, like,
Yeah. Yeah,
That's clever.
if you get a ritual, you get a ritual
I'm
cast.
guessing they don't, like, create undead, because they seem, like, more honorable than
That's a
that.
good move.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's a good call.
I'd say you definitely have that fact.
I'm gonna be like, this is how you make zombies. He's gonna say, he's like, have you heard of the unseen servants ritual?
I sort of... No.
This is how we furnished our castle. I'll show you. The magician never reveals all the secrets, but I'll show you this. So I can just type the modifier into the modifier section. Because I did a special one for doing rituals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You type in the modifier, and then you roll the check.
Good
No
God.
problem. And Osei Panin is just sort of observing your command of language and form to twist the arts and the ways of magic are fascinating.
Not to be a bitch, I get a +1 from that because I forgot about my hat.
Yeah, okay, you 27 it. You critically succeed.
Nice.
Oh shit.
Good job.
Oh,
Well done
God.
remembering your hat. Never forget your hat.
Do I need to spend? I have some money if I need to spend the gold for
No,
like
no,
the ritual.
this is all like a exhibition, essentially.
Okay, cool.
Let's say Panin sort of steps down. I have some talent in the art of ritual magic. Show me again. And so she's basically going to do like a face-off against you as she attempts to show her command. Yeah, sort of. She's going to be doing sort of a. She is attempting her own sort of ritual. So like, let's just say that this is a ritual. Like you two are very low-level magic, but basically you are going to be asked to weave a ritual against her. So the two will sort of be in equal and opposite force, and whoever can do better at it will overcome and will just have like their magic burst through just a touch.
Okay.
Goku and Vegeta's Kamehamehas at each other.
Exactly.
Oh shit, that was a good roll. Oh my god.
So it's your
Oh my god, it's Tulip Wellington! Yeah!
so Rory, as Gnome is weaving this, let me pull this back up. You're sort of weaving this opposed ritual against Osei Panin in this. I don't want to make a see the way this is all played out. You're in this throne room, grass and flowers weaving you into this just over the top, not in elegance, but in just natural beauty depiction. You begin weaving your ritual, her opposing, all the points starting to match up, and she's good. She's damn good at what she's doing. You can feel the points of magical pressure against you, but as it goes on, like this is where you're at, and you're kind of having these moments. You can feel your years of training, your time with the Hell Knights, the years you spent after that in the holds of Belkson with those orcs, and you have a few tricks up your sleeve, and you are able to defeat her magic as her ritual collapses in front of her.
Yeah.
In the same way that her sister smiled before, you see the exact same smile break out across this green-dressed elf. You've done well. I sort of look back now, Tope and Felix. You have impressive friends.
Yeah.
Now it's your turn to impress us.
Oh,
So
I'll be right
Felix,
back.
so
I need to
Felix,
check something.
Felix kind of crack his fingers and he'll go, well, it's an old trick from days long ago, but how about a little performance?
Is it hammer time?
No, it's not hammer time. No, if you're going to showcase a skill he hasn't gotten to use and has leveled up at every opportunity.
Oh, what do you got?
Oh yeah.
So, I'm going to take some inspiration from our other campaign.
Oh, God.
I'm going to do an acrobatics check.
All right, so talk me through like what Felix is going to show off.
Felix is just going to try to put on. He's going to put on something of a rehearsal show that one might see a gymnast perform. You know, not the main event, but warming up for a show. Something that showcases fluidity of movement and agility of body, but it's not some high-flying trapeze thing. It simply puts the seed in your mind that if you threw a trapeze at Felix, he would catch it and fly off.
All right. So I mentioned there's even a few vines hanging in this room that are sort of ornamental, but you suspect could hold your weight.
You can pole dance off him, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so Felix begins an aerial silk routine.
Yeah.
Still not bad. Low roll, but good modifier.
So you
I've never used acrobatics.
So you kind of get an eye raise from both of them. Osei Panin sort of looks over at Oseatsu. Oseatsu shrugs. They sort of like I'll take this one. She sort of beckons to the guards, and they untie from the wall these sort of oddly placed there ties. As you see these two vines that you're not sure why they're there, but these vines are there. The two vines swing out, and without sort of much ado, Osei Atsu challenges you to an acrobatic dance-off.
It's a swing off, everybody. We have a swing off. We've got a swing off.
All right, so Ike, you know what to do here.
No, I rolled twice. Did you roll for me?
No.
I don't know why that happened. That's weird.
I rolled twice.
Yeah, I have no idea how that happened.
The most recent is the correct.
Well, yeah. You,
The first roll was a warm-up. This is the real show. As you said, the first one wasn't the real show. You didn't want to, blow your wad in the first act.
So you... Oh yeah, Ike, for some fun context, Eli is also playing that same adventure on the side of me, right?
I am,
So
yes.
Yeah.
I'm essentially playing John Edwards in gnome form. You know, the psychic who talks to the dead? I'm basically that guy.
Oh, actually, yeah, I meant to tell the group this, but it didn't come up in time. Yeah, so in our other game, Eli's character's circus performance was to do a cold read of the audience.
Yep.
And he was asking if anyone, knew anyone, had any relative whose name began with a P.
Yep.
And someone talked about how he's got an uncle, Pete, who lives up in Corvosa. And there was a whole fucking bit about his uncle Pete in Corvosa.
Yeah, it was awesome. So I was there like, oh, the spirits are telling me to talk about your Uncle Pete. Oh, Pete! It was amazing.
Oh my god, yeah, this is not working. Alright, so you win the vine off, it's pretty awesome. All eyes now are on Tope.
Tope, in a flash, kind of grabs in his bag, and with about, 3 actions,
Approximately 6
lays
seconds.
out in about a 5-foot square what appears to be a biting snare.
Ooh.
Interesting. Can you give me some sort of crafting role associated with that?
Sure.
I believe you, I think you're an expert in crafting, aren't you?
Indeed.
Ooh.
Not phenomenal.
Not phenomenal.
It would look, well, as a fine trap. Perhaps there is a chance for you to join our hunt for the remaining of the feast's meal. Thank you all for showing us this.
Can he like drop a stick on it? I just want to see how much
Yeah.
damage it would do.
Go for it.
Oh god.
You drop it, it just splinters, which does get like an eyebrow raise out of everyone, once again including the guards.
I was just gonna say, can he like get a reroll for that demonstration? Like a literal mic drop on his trap?
And like you watch it kind
5d6.
of buck off the ground almost. Damn!
Believe me,
first
you
off,
really don't want to see what happens when an animal gets caught in that thing.
Let me award some XP there for
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Noise.
That was a lot. Yes.
you. Yeah, I mean, you guys got both the, you got the stretch goals, let me just say.
Shit, yeah.
Hey, we have 420 XP. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, son.
Call the Ravens.
Thank you. We must begin our preparations for tonight's story circle and feast. And they sort of motion that it's time to go, and Noctaya sort of either like, you have to leave first.
So Karen will quickly stand up at that, give a deep bow, and say, "It was a great honor to meet you, and it was an even higher honor to meet you in battle." And she'll give a bow and back and walk out.
Again, as you're getting ready to turn around, Osei Atsu sort of stops. All of you, please come, and gestures you closer once you're sort of standing up. Asks you all to walk closer.
Karen does so.
I'm gonna walk up.
And as you all get closer, she hands you a small package wrapped in cloth. And tells you this is a gift from their tribe and from these two sisters. That you asks that you take it with you. And strike down the foes that you share in common.
Karen will reach out her hand and take it, and she'll look them in the eyes and say, Dahak Pakanga, which means war to Dahak in Orcish. I don't know if they'll know that, but that's what she says.
They get the feel.
Yeah. She said Dahak and said a word that sounded not very nice.
Tope pulls out his elven curved blade and hands it to them and says, "The hunting birds ask you to do the same."
They bow deeply at seeing that it's not necessarily a gift of intrinsic worth, but one of personal value. And they take it with a very deep bow.
So they give us like one package.
Yep.
Like for the group. Cool.
And if you look in the party sheet, you'll see that there's something in there.
Oh, shit. There it is.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a nice dagger.
Yes, it is.
Shifting striking
I'm
forward.
proficient in daggers. It's one of the 4 weapons I'm proficient in. But
Nice.
also,
I'm proficient in everything, but I am not built to use a dagger, so Karen has no real use for that.
Holy God, look at the price of this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
This
my
is
god.
worth a lot of money.
That was a kingly gift.
So,
Whoa.
so in case you guys are wondering, part of what makes that so particularly awesome, let me share with you the description for the shifting move, if
Oh,
you'd like.
I just read that.
Here we go. It's a single action, interact, effect. The weapon takes the shape of another melee weapon that requires the same number of hands to wield. The
Wow.
magic's runes and any precious material it's made of apply to the weapon's new shape. Any property runes that can apply to the new form are suppressed until it takes the shape in which they can apply. So it's a dagger right now, but otherwise it is a +1 striking cold iron any one-handed melee weapon.
That's
God
awesome.
So you guys traded up on your wand and elven
Yeah.
curve blade.
Seriously, holy shit. Again, one-handed. I mean, I started out one-handed and shield on Karen, but at this point, I've abandoned it. So that's I'll back off on that one. It's amazing, but I'm better with two hands.
I don't have a magic weapon, but I'm not really a melee person.
Mhm.
So I'll take it if no one else wants it.
Do either Tope or Felix? I mean, I feel like one of you guys might use it more, like Felix, because that thing could turn into like a hammer or something.
It could literally turn into any weapon Felix can use.
Yeah.
Felix is kind of the second choice option for every single thing. Like, he can use just about any weapon you throw at him, but he's probably not the best one for any given.
Right, but Tope, you're mostly ranged, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you did
Well,
just.
keep in mind that Felix already has a
That's true.
striking long spear, the Cinder Gauntlet, and Ike, when the fuck did you get a magical star knife?
I was holding on to that for somebody because nobody really wanted it.
Well then, I think maybe. Well, Tope, you just got rid of your curved blade, right?
Though I guess
Yeah,
that's
but
the point, still, Felix has more magical weapons than we remember.
Also,
I also
I
have a +1 striking scimitar.
Oh, wait! I have a thing. Doubling rings. This might change your mind. This item consists of two blah blah blah, that doesn't matter. When you wield a weapon in the hand wearing the golden ring, the weapon's fundamental runes are replicated onto any melee weapon you wield in the hand wearing the iron ring. So basically, if I give these rings that I'm literally not using to somebody, and you use that dagger or whatever you turn it into, the weapon in your offhand will get the same runes.
I mean, that would just give them both shifting and striking.
Shifting and striking
isn't a rune; it's a material.
Yeah, but shifting and striking at least.
I don't know. I mean, that would definitely take it. Gnome gave up his biggest magic item and doesn't have any magic weapons.
Mm.
Yeah.
But you are a
I
wizard
don't
at the same time.
I mean, if everyone else has +1 striking weapons already, I'm not proficient with anything other than like daggers and staffs.
Yeah, Tope wouldn't mind at all if he took it.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because Karen definitely doesn't want it.
I wouldn't
So
take it, but except y'all both have striking shit already.
right.
Yep.
And like, let me also say that like, Ike, I imagine it's been long enough. You've probably identified this magical star knife. Would you like to see what the fuck's on it?
Sure.
I realized, I was looking, I was like, why is it asterisk? I was like, oh, because you haven't identified it. So, there you go. There it is identified, and go ahead and take the boost.
So Tope, do you ever dual wield melee?
No.
No. What about you, Felix? Do you ever dual wield melee?
I have never dual wielded on a character in my life.
Okay. I'm just.
Holy shit.
Maybe I'll just sell this ring, because it is not useful for me.
Holy
But
shit,
something
guys!
dagger?
It's a +1 returning knife!
Hey!
Oh my
The
god, you
star
can
knife,
put that on the hammer.
Put that shit on the hammer right now, son. Do it.
So I don't have to return the hammer for you.
Hang on. Wait, hang on. Can I put the returning on the hammer?
Yeah, that's what
Hey,
runes
you
are
have a little
for.
bit of money to transfer, but you can totally transfer.
Yeah, it's
runes.
just money and
It's
time.
not making Gilmere.
Do it.
Well, I mean, Ike, if you really want to, because there's that star knife has 3 runes on it. It has +1, returning, and striking.
Holy
so you have
shit.
to put at least +1 on your silver hammer before you can put returning on it. So it'll take the +1. But the striking part, your Cinderclaw Gauntlet is +1, but it's not striking. So if you so wanted to, you could totally make your Cinderclaw Gauntlet do a second d4 of damage when you punch with it.
Oh my god.
Put the +1 on the hammer and the returning. And
Yeah.
the striking on the glove,
Yep. Do that.
on the gauntlet.
That's do
That's probably
everything
a lot of money,
you just
though,
said.
I'm not gonna lie.
It'll be worth it, man. It'll be so
Transfer.
worth it.
Transferring runes is honest. It's so much cheaper than the actual runes.
And actually, you know what? I will actually pitch in for the effort because I really, really, really want Felix to have that returning hammer. So I'm going to drop these doubling rings in the party sheet, Felix. Take that. Sell it. Use the gold for the rune transfer. They're worth 50 gold, so you can get 25 easy for it.
Alright, let me look up transferring runes.
Yeah, how much is it to actually transfer the rune? Because Felix does have cash.
Still,
Oh, I will
that...
not say no to charity.
Yeah,
Felix
those
is
rings
not-
are literally just taking up space in my bags. I can't use them, and if none of you guys dual wield melee, then it's useless to the group. We may as well use it as just party funds. So, yeah, take it, sell it, get those runes transferred, because I really want you to have returning on that goddamn hammer. As epic as it was
You guys
with
are also
Gnome
still
saving the
getting that
hammer,
chainmail shirt.
Karen does not need the chainmail shirt.
Yeah, I don't need either.
Tope
I mean,
or...
I'll sell it and turn it into zombies, but
Yeah, we can sell that too, I guess. Woo, it's worth a lot. Shit. My armor has plus
so here you go.
1, right?
So it normally costs. Let me get this up. It normally costs 10% of the cost and takes a day to do. So I can get you the exact cost of that real quick.
Yeah, hit me.
Nice.
Hit me with your best shot.
Hit me with your rhythm stick.
So returning is going to cost 5.5 gold pieces.
Yeah, that's a quarter of what Felix just has sitting on him.
Damn.
It's a quarter of what those rings are worth after selling. I mean, less than that even.
Weapon potency +1 is going to cost 3.5 gold. And striking is going to cost 6.5 gold to transfer over.
Oh, that's a lot cheaper than I thought.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
armor
well,
is
you're
crazy expensive.
It gets better though, because you guys are not in the world's biggest time crunch yet, right?
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, so you can take longer to make it cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's how much it would cost. It would always cost at least that much if you hire someone to do it, which is what I've always said to do it. However, if you have, if you can craft, which I think you have to have, yeah.
It has to be the item level, right?
Not necessarily. You have to be an expert in crafting.
I think only
I
Tope
think
is
both
that.
of us are.
Oh, both of you?
Yeah.
No, I think it's just trained in it. But Tope is an expert, so Tope shit. We helped Felix
Oh yeah.
and do it. And so the way it works is, it takes a day of work and costs 10%. However, this is what I was looking at because I can't remember the exact way it works. Skills, craft.
So yeah, those doubling rings should pay for the entire rune transfer. Excellent. Good. Get that out of my inventory and help the party.
However, you can also use oh god, need the book, page number.
Santa?
I mean, can we take this +1 off the chain shirt then too?
Yeah.
Throw it on somebody's thing.
Yeah, do it. I already have a +1 on my armor, so any of you guys
Yeah,
can take
same.
it.
My armor's so low that a +1's not going to help me that much, I feel like.
I mean, it's still +1. Actually, statistically, if you have low AC, a +1 would help you more than it would help me. Percentage-wise?
I mean, I'll be the last to take it.
Okay, well,
AC
I have
my armor's
+1.
18.
Tope has +1. Felix, do you have +1 on your armor?
I genuinely have no idea.
Or what about Tam? Tam is the cloistered cleric, right? He can't wear armor?
He's just not proficient.
Oh, so can you put a +1 on clothes or whatever?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and Felix, do you have a +1 on armor?
I'm scrolling. I don't actually know what armor Felix is wearing.
Felix can wear a chain shirt, except it's noisy, but like he's proficient in it.
Yeah, they are noisy. That's the
like,
shitty part.
Mugger.
Felix is currently wearing a +1 chain shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah, okay. I thought it was the one that I just grabbed out of
so then what about Tam? Does he have a +1 on his robes?
Tam got shit because he's Tam and he takes nothing for himself.
Okay. I mean, that's true in character.
Tam has a +1 dagger.
It is true
I
that
think
in
he
character,
has-
Tam would definitely want to give it to Gnome first, but I don't know.
Doesn't he have something raising his AC already?
I don't recall.
No.
Huh.
My protective ward spell.
Yeah, and he often casts shield.
That's true. He casts
Yeah.
shield a lot.
Oh, he's got bracers of missile deflection.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
it.
that's what it is. Yeah, yeah.
God bless him.
So you could
I was
probably put the
thinking,
+1 on those bracers, right?
He put them in his robes.
It would be on the robes. Okay.
His vestments, yeah. And so here for some context, because Tope, you're an expert. So, for every additional day, now this is, of course, this is also contingent on a successful crafting check. But like with you working on returning, each additional day you work on it reduces the cost by 5 silver pieces.
Okay.
Let me double check that I'm understanding that correctly. Crafting. Oh, no, that's not true. You're level 5. You can reduce it by 1 gold piece for each
Oh,
additional
shit.
day. Damn.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was gonna say 5 silver. That's not very good. Maybe that's probably not worth it. A gold now. That's worth it.
So that means, so you take you 1 day, and your base cost for returning would be 5.5 gold. Every additional day reduces it by 1. Striking 6.5 gold, reduced by 1, plus 1, 3.5 gold, reduced by 1. So, here's the thing though, for you to do it all by yourself, would cost, and I'd say I'd allow you to do the 1 gold on the first day immediately for the sake of expediency here. You can do that in 1 day, but if you want to get them all done, you'll probably have to hire some locals in town so that you aren't here for like 4 days to get this all transferred over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sort of a work hours versus actual hours sort of thing.
Right.
So, you know what, actually, I think, I kind of really like this. We're at a really strong stopping point. We don't need to push on. I've always said the goal is about 2 hours, or plus if we need more time to wrap up. We're dead on for 2 hours right now. We've finished tonight's encounter.
Hell yes.
But
Got a
let me
hell
set
of
up
a bunch of
the
XP.
keys.
Do
I
what
think
now?
as you all exit the leader's cabin, you can already see like word of your performance rippling out to the community. Already the way people are treating you appears different. And as word of your success begins to travel out through Akravel, all across sort of the main 3 hubs of the city here, people are starting to look at you differently. And you remember Ose Atsu's comment about the hunt. And it's at this point that you see Akosa, the elf who smiled when Karen, like, when Tam armed only his way up the tree and then Karen climbed up afterwards, sort of seek you out. And Akosa sort of sees Nikaya. Nikaya, can I speak to them for a minute? You recognize him, him saying, and can you translate? Sort of comes over. Nikaya translates for you. He introduces himself. Hi. I am Akosa of Hawk Clan. And my mother is of River Clan. We're preparing for the hunt. If you want any say in what we eat tonight, you can come help write the menu. I've heard you're quite the group.
Tope smiles huge. This is what he is about, man.
Karen notices Tope's smile, and she reaches it behind her, pulls out her old spear, looks at it, looks at Tope, and says, "It's been a long time since me and Marie have gone out. Let's do this."
I think that's where we're going to roll credits for tonight. Josh says bye. Hi to everyone.
Hi, bye, Josh.
Howdy.
Spadoink.
Yeah. So I think that's what we're at tonight. I'll type up the notes, but you guys got XP, some new weapons.
Woo.
Figure out the goal conversation. Take whatever screenshots you need to, and we can just kind of assume that happens off camera. You guys have a day or two here. So you can transfer all of those. You can just strip every rune off that magical star knife and redistribute it across other stuff.
Yeah, do it.
I'm thinking.
Can we take a second
Anyway,
to
good
appreciate that Isaac's armory at this point will be a +1 striking spear, a +1 striking modified Cinderclaw gauntlet, and a mini Mjolnir.
I love it.
While
Just
Gnome
get
has a
them
weapon
on
that becomes
No, man, what?
What?
Well, Gnome has a weapon that can become literally anything he needs it to be.
Yeah. Karen just needs her mighty flail. Thing does nasty damage.
That being said, though, Rory, are you only proficient in simple weapons?
Yes.
Oh, that's still some options. One-handed simple weapons.
Mm-hmm. That's a
Don't get
few.
something like melee combat fairly frequently.
You're an abjuration
Those are the
wizard,
fights
so
we've been in.
it'd be good for you to at least have a weapon, since you're an abjuration wizard.
You also
Yeah,
just never
and I have
fucking
no
know.
strength, so the striking was pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, fellas, I'm off. Good night.
Later,
Good
Isaac.
game.
Yeah, good game.
Night.
Catch y'all in a fortnight.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, in 2 weeks.
Bye.
With